Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh White Coat Ceremony. Please find your seats and turn your attention to the stage to enjoy a performance from the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater. Please join us in welcoming Madeline Gradle and Jacob Miller performing a selection from Paquita.
Before it was science, it was steel, Pittsburgh's call to fame. But over time, the city's economy evolved. The industries that once flourished here gave way to new ones, attracting a new generation of talent to Pittsburgh, creating a renaissance that would position Pittsburgh as a global hub for technology, education, and groundbreaking healthcare.
In moving from meadows to medicine, Pittsburgh reinvented itself as a powerhouse for innovation, a place where bright minds gather to spark new ideas and new breakthroughs.
Pittsburgh was founded and thrives today through the common respect, civility, and cooperation of its leaders. The qualities that built this city are epitomized every day at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine.
That's what makes this school unique. Different people with diverging ideas coming together to achieve one common goal: to serve others.
As important as innovation is compassion and finding common grounds with others that help us build our own bridges to success.
You now belong to a diverse body of medical students, leaders in the making, who will define excellence today and far into the future.
And we're so glad you're here. You have been hand-selected from a pool of thousands of applicants, and now you will join a cohort of classmates and colleagues who have diverse interests, creative talents, and an inclination for innovative thinking. In the coming years, you'll be challenged to think creatively in order to make a difficult diagnosis, to design an experiment, or think about healthcare innovations that will answer important questions in biomedicine. That's what you're here to discover, and we can't wait to get you started on this journey.
Over the next 4 years, you'll receive the absolute best clinical training, research opportunities, and educational experiences. You will leave fully equipped with the tools necessary to meet the challenges of practicing medicine in the 21st century.
The clinicians and scientists who teach are also the ones writing the textbooks and publishing groundbreaking papers. It's a wonderful, supportive community to be a part of, in a place that feels like a small town and a big city at the same time.
Pitt Med is a leader in academics, clinical care, and research. As students, we have so many opportunities for collaboration across the university, and the faculty is truly invested in our success.
At Pitt Med, we make sure you have everything you need to successfully navigate medical school. We will connect you with faculty advisors, mentors, study groups, counseling, tutors, funding for projects and research, social activities, and more. Possibilities for your future are endless. We'll help you explore every opportunity until you find the perfect fit and the perfect match.
In addition to a world-class faculty committed to mentoring, you'll find a network of support not just in Pittsburgh, but globally through an elite group of medical alumni.
Our alumni community is actively involved in our programs, continuously giving back and supporting current students. We, as part of the Medical Alumni Association, are here to help encourage successes and strengthen ties to Pitt Med students. Hail to Pitt!
Developing the polio vaccine, laying the groundwork to the modern-day ICU, revolutionizing breast cancer treatment, conducting research that led to the first MRI, leading the way in organ transplantation. It all happened right here, but that's just the beginning. The future is now in your hands.
Welcome to the School of Medicine.
We're happy to have you here with us in Pittsburgh, and we're very excited to see what you're going to do next.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming our Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Alda Maria Gonzaga, Associate Dean for Student Affairs at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine.
Welcome, Pitt Med, class of 2025. And I would love for us to extend another round of applause to Madeline Gradle and Jacob Miller, the dancers from the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater, for that absolutely stunning performance we watched. Please join me in acknowledging that we stand on the traditional ancestral lands of the Adena, the Hopewell, the Monongahela, and the Osage, who were followed by the Shawnee, the Mingo, the Lenape, and others. Generation upon generation, past, present, and future, of Indigenous people here and all over the world have served as respectful stewards of the earth and its resources. My name is Dr. Alda Maria Gonzaga. I am the new Associate Dean for Student Affairs. My first anniversary will be September 1st. It was wonderful to see my predecessor in the video. She is very much still with us as a mentor to me and to many others. I am a proud Pitt Med class of 2000 alum. And on behalf of all of the deans here and watching from afar, I'd like to welcome you, the class of 2025, to your white coat ceremony. And I'd like to extend a hearty welcome to your family and friends, both in attendance and supporting you remotely. They will be your ardent supporters through your medical school journey. The vision for this event was developed by Dr. Freddie Fu and his wife, Hilda Pang Fu, in order to properly welcome you to Pittsburgh while giving you a taste of all the city has to offer. As you may have gathered from our video, from the small group names during the past couple weeks of the class oath development process, we are proud of our bridges here in Pittsburgh. We have 446 bridges in our fair city. That's more than in Venice, Italy. And this year's theme for the White Coat Ceremony is Building Your Bridge. The entire Pitt Med community is committed to helping you build your bridge to your career. Not only our world-renowned faculty, who will teach you both in the classroom and in the clinic, as well as mentor you through your scholarly work and your career choice, but also current medical students and alumni are here to support you throughout your journey. Furthermore, you will reap the benefits of Pittsburgh's history of innovation through Pitt's partnerships across the city, including those with UPMC and CMU. Thinking back on the weekend of my White Coat Ceremony, I walked across the Smithfield Bridge between downtown and Station Square. I hope each of you takes some time to walk around our city and hopefully cross one of our bridges over the next few weeks. And if you walk across one of our big bridges, you'll notice that our bridges have grades. You start walking up the bridge to its peak, and then walk back down to the other side of the shore. In the next few weeks, you'll notice that the beginning of medical school is quite similar to walking up that grade at the beginning of a bridge. You are about to start 2 of the fastest paced years of learning you'll ever experience. And you will work hard to walk up that bridge. And I want you to hold on to the image of that entire Pitt Med community. The faculty, the staff, the alumni, senior students, all lined up along the side of that bridge, cheering you on, each and every one of you, because that's what we will be doing in spirit. We have no doubt that each and every one of you will go on to achieve great things. You're figuratively, and probably literally, in great physical shape. Each of you is bright and highly accomplished academically. But more importantly, each of you has the attributes that will foster your success in medicine. What are those attributes? Everything you've experienced up until this point in your journey. The volunteer and advocacy work you've been involved in, the previous careers and jobs you've held, the sports you've played, the parts of the world you've visited. All those experiences and accomplishments outside of school are foundational to your success. They are the pillars of each of your unique bridges. And it is because of those pillars that you have been selected to become a part of this community. Because we see the potential, the spark in each of you to become exemplars in medicine as healers, advocates, innovators, and leaders. Family, friends, and esteemed colleagues, please join me in showing the class of 2025 our support through a round of applause. Chancellor Patrick Gallagher regrets that he is unable to attend today's event. He has asked that we share a video to welcome you and congratulate you on your achievements.
Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh. On behalf of Dr. and Mrs. Fu and our entire School of Medicine, we are thrilled to have you join our great university community. This is an exciting first step in a journey that will be filled with learning and lifelong memories. And it's a journey that begins right here with our entire Pitt community supporting your success. So congratulations on earning your white coat today. And here's to many more milestones in your future. Hail to Pitt!
It is now my great honor to introduce Dr. Anantha Shaker, the Senior Vice Chancellor for the Health Sciences, the John and Gertrude Peterson Dean for the School of Medicine, and a Professor of Psychiatry at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine.
Good morning. Welcome to all of you, particularly the new matriculants, the students, and the families that are present here supporting them. Welcome also to all the families that are present virtually and supporting this great class of 2025. I'm Anantha Shaker. I am the Dean of the School of Medicine, and really, this is my first in-person white coat ceremony. I've been here now for a little over 14 months, and what a joy it's been to join the Pitt family and the Pitt Med leadership. I particularly want to thank my leadership group, all of my associate deans, and the people that are going to be supporting you through your next 4 years of an incredible journey. They are a wonderful team, and I'm so grateful for having them as part of my team. A particular and a special thanks to Hilda Pang Fu and Freddie Fu. Dr. Freddie Fu is our chair of orthopedic surgery, and he and Hilda have been so generous with this white coat ceremony. For the last 4 years, they have been generously supporting not only the event, but also all of the activities that many of you will be going through over the next week or so. So they are an amazing symbol of what Pitt stands for, what Pittsburgh stands for, and the welcome you will all receive being part of our family. Let me start by saying, not only are you very smart students, but you've actually made the smartest decision in your career, choosing Pitt Med. Because at Pitt Med, you're going to learn things that are going to be extraordinarily influential for the rest of your life. Because you're not only going to become well-trained physicians, but you're going to become great human beings and wonderful leaders for the future. Pitt Med curriculum values science as much as the human part of medicine, as much the psychosocial aspects of medicine, as much as what we need to do to make a future society that is just and that is going to overcome all the health disparities that we see every day. So you're joining a very special group of people. You're going to be trained to become very special members of society, and that's what you're joining today. So welcome and congratulations on being part of this journey. Pitt faculty that you will meet are also extraordinary people. They'll be great role models. They are members of the highest scientific societies, highest medical knowledge, and they are leaders and editors of some of our top journals. So what you will be learning from are not just professors, not just great physicians, but really thought leaders in the entire field of medicine and health sciences. So I welcome you again to join this great group of faculty and become part of the team. The training that you will receive in our hospitals will be in an environment that is unrivaled anywhere in the world. Probably most of you don't know that Pitt's partner, UPMC, is the largest academic health center in the world. I hope I'll take a second to emphasize that. It is the largest academic medical center in the world. Twice the size of all of the Harvard-affiliated hospitals combined. So you're going to be part of an enormous medical enterprise that does, as you saw in the video, some of the most groundbreaking innovations in medicine, but also treats nearly 4 million people every year. So this is, I keep joking, we treat as many people as the size of the country Scotland. So you can imagine the scale and scope of what material you'll have to learn. So, welcome again to this great place. Finally, you're going to be wearing a white coat from now on. You will receive your white coat today, and you will be wearing that for the next 4 years, and beyond that for the rest of your career. It is a very special symbol of you becoming a physician, you joining the ranks of physicians. You're now an official member of the medical community. And it goes something like this. It's a symbol, not so much of just your authority, not so much just your learning. It is really a symbol of compassion. People have referred to this as the cloak of compassion. And that's what you're going to be wearing starting today. And I hope you will all honor that and continue to value that every time you put on your white coat. Just want to close by quoting one of our alumni. This is Dr. Charles Siegel. He graduated from Pitt Med in 1967. And I was just speaking with him last week because he has given a lot of his earnings to support scholarship for medical students, especially those that have economic needs. So he was telling me that, you know what you can tell those kids? Of course, we're all kids to him. So he said, tell them they can become a healthcare worker, which means that they will work in big health systems, become part of hospitals, become part of clinics, and serve people. You can also tell them that they could become doctors, which means you can figure out how much money you're going to make and what kind of retirement plans you have and what fees you charge. But really, what you want to tell them is that they should become physicians. And a physician means that you care for your patients. You care for everything that they come with, their medical problems, their financial issues, their family issues, their social issues, all of those go into healing people as a physician. So that's really the most important part of what you're going to be joining today. And we will talk a lot more about this over the next week as you get oriented. But I want to end by saying that you are joining a very elite group of medical practitioners. You're joining a great medical center, and you're joining one of the top-ranked medical schools in the country. So welcome and hail to Pitt. Okay, I totally forgot my next step, so sorry. So it's my pleasure and honor now to introduce our keynote speaker today. Dr. Kurt Weiss. Dr. Kurt Weiss is an associate professor and vice chair in the Department of Orthopedics. He's a translational researcher. He's a director of musculoskeletal oncology laboratory. And having only met him in the last few months, I've been impressed what an extraordinary person he is. He started out his education by going to Notre Dame. Yes, like that. Then went on to Jefferson Medical College in Philadelphia, residency of orthopedics here at UPMC, and did a fellowship in musculoskeletal oncology at University of Toronto. His career has been distinguished by his commitment to a work that I think is inspirational to every physician, to every human being, and you will hear these from his own words. He grew up in Pittsburgh, so he is a Pittsburgher, and of course, a wonderful teacher and accomplished researcher. So it's my great honor to introduce Dr. Kurt Weiss as your keynote speaker.
Thank you. Good morning, Dean Shaker, honored faculty, staff and guests, family members, and most importantly, our newest students of the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. My name is Kurt Weiss. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Orthopedic Surgery, Division of Musculoskeletal Oncology. I'm also a surgeon scientist. I direct the Musculoskeletal Oncology Laboratory and serve as Vice Chair of Translational Research for my department. I also chair the Musculoskeletal Tumor Society Research Committee. I'm a proud fifth-generation Pittsburgher and member of the Pitt Ortho Residency Class of 2009. I've served on the faculty since 2010 when my chairman, Dr. Freddie Fu, recruited me home. Of note, Dr. Fu is an inspiring success story and a Pittsburgh treasure. He has made the name Pittsburgh synonymous with the greatest sports medicine, research, treatment, and innovation on the planet. His professional accolades are too numerous to recite, and I love him like he's my own family. We are all better because Dr. Fu decided to make Pittsburgh his home. Dr. Fu will be leading you as you take your oath in a few minutes. Sir, thank you for everything you've done for me personally, for my family, for the university, and for our city. I've had the honor of teaching and being taught by Pitt fellows and residents, partners and colleagues, and most importantly, medical students. I've already met some of you. Trudy Zoe, last in your program, first in your heart, is in the Physician Scientist Training Program and has been in my lab for the past month performing exceptional research on chondrosarcoma, or cartilage cancer. If Trudy is any indication of the brilliance and enthusiasm of your class, you folks are in terrific shape. I must be honest about what I do and don't remember the first day I put on the white coat. It was 1998, and I was in Philadelphia at Jefferson Medical College, which is now the Sidney Kimmel Medical College of Thomas Jefferson University. You know you're getting old when the places you went to school are either closed or have different names. I remember that we had a speaker at our white coat ceremony. I'm equally sure that I have no idea who that was or what she said, so I have no delusions of grandeur that you will remember these words in 23 years. More than anything, I do remember the excitement of starting a new chapter of my life. We have all experienced beginnings, but I promise you that nothing will be like putting on that white coat for the first time, taking your oath, and starting your career as physicians. It also provided the opportunity to reflect on the difficult, unpredictable, and miraculous road that led me to that moment. I'd like to spend a few moments talking about that journey. In the spring of 1989, I was finishing my freshman year at North Hills High School, about 15 minutes up the road. I was a two-sport athlete in football and swimming, president of the concert band, a rising star on the debate team, and getting straight A's. I was pretty cocky about that stuff too. I could not have suspected that my life was about to be completely upended. My right leg had been hurting for about a month. I self-diagnosed a stress fracture, which I ascribed to running in gym class. The pain got worse and began to keep me from sleeping. I guess I complained about it enough that my mother threatened me with not going mountain climbing with the Boy Scouts until I got my leg checked out. So to humor her, I went to a sports medicine doctor in the North Hills, Dr. Jack Fela. He obtained x-rays and said there were some things about my images that he didn't completely understand. He made me an appointment for me to see a specialist, Dr. Mark Goodman, in Oakland the very next morning. The next day was May 15th, 1989. Dr. Goodman took a history, performed a physical, and reviewed my x-rays. "Well, Kurt," he said, "it looks to me like you have a textbook case of osteosarcoma." My father, whose voice never shook, said in a wavering voice, "Dr. Goodman, that sounds like bone cancer." Dr. Goodman replied, "Mr. Weiss, that's exactly what osteosarcoma is. Now, we have to get a biopsy to be sure, but if we're lucky and the cancer hasn't spread to Kurt's lungs already, he has a 65% chance of being alive in 5 years, and he'll probably lose his leg." That was a bad day. It turns out that Dr. Fela hadn't seen a case of osteosarcoma in about 15 years, but he knew exactly what he was looking at. His quick action certainly helped to save my life. The biopsy confirmed Dr. Goodman's diagnosis, and I met my medical oncologist, Dr. Michael Woolman, one of the kindest, most compassionate physicians I have ever known. I started chemotherapy, which was predictably awful. Unfortunately, a CT scan showed that the osteosarcoma had already metastasized to my lungs. Neither my parents nor I knew it at the time, but that cut my odds of survival from 65% down to about 20%. I finished my preoperative chemotherapy, and it was time to have the tumor in my right tibia removed. We got a second opinion from Dr. Henry Mankin, the chairman of orthopedic surgery at Harvard. Now, what you folks need to know about the great Mankin is that he's one of your most distinguished alumni. Henry J. Mankin was a Pittsburgher from Squirrel Hill. He went to Pitt for undergraduate and proudly graduated from the Pitt School of Medicine class of 1953. 25 years later, in 1978, he and some colleagues founded the Musculoskeletal Tumor Society, which is still the most important professional society for orthopedic oncologists on the continent of North America. Mankin was without question the greatest orthopedic surgeon scientist of his generation. Back to the story. Additional scans were performed, and Dr. Mankin said that he could remove the tumor and save my leg with an osteoarticular allograft, basically exchanging my cancerous tibia with a cadaver bone that would hopefully behave as a scaffold for my own bone cells. In July 1989, I had the allograft surgery in Boston, and in September, Dr. Bonna Benjamin at Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh opened my chest and removed the lung metastases. I was nearly finished with postoperative chemotherapy when a CT scan in February 1990 showed new tumors in my lungs. Now, you folks have not yet begun your training, but it doesn't take an advanced degree in anything to understand that if your disease progresses while you're taking powerful medicines to prevent exactly that, it probably means that the medicines aren't working so well. So more lung surgery was performed in March to remove the new metastatic lung tumors. Funny story about that. During the right thoracotomy surgery, the chemotherapy catheter in my right subclavian vein was pinched off between my first rib and clavicle, and approximately 8 centimeters of catheter tubing floated down my subclavian into my superior vena cava through my right heart and got lodged in my pulmonary artery. As you will soon learn, that is just as bad as it sounds. That night, the chief of cardiothoracic surgery at Children's said that I would probably require open heart surgery to remove the tubing from this precarious spot. But there were a couple of hotshot pediatric cardiology fellows who had this crazy idea that they might be able to snag the broken tubing with a handmade cardiac catheter. He didn't think it would work, but had nothing against them giving it a try. Nowadays, such a maneuver is relatively straightforward, but in 1990, this technology was just being invented. So off I went to the pediatric cardiology suite with Drs. Jose Atege and Bill Hoyer for a Hail Mary pass. Now pay attention, because this was some good doctoring. The biggest problem was that I was frightened, and my heart rate was too fast for them to lasso the tubing. So to calm me down, Dr. Hoyer started asking me who I liked in the NCAA basketball tournament. When we started talking about basketball, I began to relax. My heart rate slowed enough for those two studs to grab the broken tubing and pull it safely out of my body. I was just with my parents yesterday. They celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. And my mother once again told the story of Bill Hoyer and Jose Atege running down the hall at Children's Hospital with a broken piece of tubing. "Mrs. Weiss, we got it, we got it." She loves that story. So one disaster was averted, but the other one loomed. There was still the small matter of recurrent metastatic osteosarcoma in my lungs. First-line chemotherapy had failed, and I won't ever forget Dr. Woolman saying, "Guys, from this point on, we're making it up as we go along." Not exactly what you want to hear from your oncologist. What I didn't know is that my parents were privately counseled that my prognosis was incalculably poor and I might go downhill quickly. They were encouraged to hope for the best but prepare for my demise. A burial plot was purchased for me next to my great-grandparents, and the details of my funeral mass were worked out. These were dark days for my family. But out of that darkness came a ray of hope. My sister Gretchen read an article in the Allentown Morning Call about a pediatric oncologist named Eugenia Kleinerman at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, who had started a clinical trial for patients just like me with refractory metastatic osteosarcoma. Now, I don't suppose any of you have seen the Allentown Morning Call circa April 1990, but it was about 10 pages, 9 of which were devoted to livestock and agriculture. Why in the world they should have had an article about an experimental treatment for an obscure disease over 1,000 miles from Allentown, I will never know. It can only be described as providential. In any case, this was pre-internet, so Gretchen cut the article out of the newspaper and mailed it to my parents with the words, "What do you think?" written across the top. At this point, no options were off the table. We met with Dr. Kleinerman and liked what she had to say about her experimental immune therapy trial. She spoke with Dr. Woolman and convinced him too, so Mom and I packed our bags for Houston as soon as school was out. We spent 3 months in Houston and the next 3 months getting the treatment here in Pittsburgh. I finished the trial in December of 1990, and then the craziest thing happened. It worked. The experimental treatment worked. Thank you. Thank you. The experimental treatment worked, and I've been off cancer treatment since 1990 on December 18th, the Feast of St. Flannan. I still call Dr. Kleinerman every December 18th. I might have been done with osteosarcoma, but osteosarcoma wasn't done with me. The allograft bone never united to my native tibia, and the plate holding these two structures together broke, which required additional surgery. The allograft became infected, which initiated a span of about 6 years that I was either on IV antibiotics or in the operating room or both. My orthopedic care was transferred back to Dr. Goodman when it was clear that things were too complicated to fly to Boston every time there was a problem. The allograft completely disintegrated right after I started my freshman year at Notre Dame. It was revised to a proximal tibia megaprosthesis, which also became infected. That was eventually revised to another megaprosthesis with a free muscle transfer to make the antibiotics more effective. When the infection returned for the zillionth time, I decided that after about 25 operations, it was time to get on with my life. I'd just been elected president of university bands at Notre Dame. Dr. Goodman and I mutually decided that I would fulfill my duties for the football season, then have my leg amputated over the holiday break. I almost didn't make it. During finals week of all times, my leg started hemorrhaging daily. I was talking to Dr. Goodman a lot, and I remember him saying, "Kurt, if I have to come up there and carry you to your exams, you're going to finish the semester." I made it through, joined the band at the Orange Bowl in Miami, and the next week had my right leg amputated. That spring was spent doing two things: learning how to walk and studying for the MCAT. People ask how I came to the decision to apply to medical school. Based on what you've heard, how could I not have come to that decision? How could I not be inspired by the decisiveness of Jack Fela, the compassion of Mike Woolman, the charisma of Henry Mankin, the heroic ingenuity of Jose Atege and Bill Hoyer, and the genius of Gina Kleinerman, and the dedication of Mark Goodman? Not to mention the dozens of amazing nurses, residents, fellows, and medical students who cared for and supported me even when home seemed lost. I wanted nothing more than to be like these professionals who taught and gave me so much. But wanting something doesn't make it happen. The work needs to be put in too. My grades at Notre Dame were not very good, and I needed to strengthen my med school application somehow. Through a connection at the Make-A-Wish Foundation, I secured a position in Pitt's Ferguson Laboratory for Orthopedic Research, working for Dr. Christopher Evans on gene therapy for rheumatoid arthritis. Dr. Evans also happened to be the inaugural Henry Mankin Endowed Professor at Pitt. Do not be misled. I took this job for completely selfish reasons. But another thing happened that I did not expect. I fell in love with research, and whether due to luck or actual skill or both, I found that I was pretty good at it. In fact, it was a blessing in disguise that I didn't get into med school on the first go-around, because it gave me the opportunity to get a grant, bring my project to publication, and go to my first scientific conferences. The rest, as they say, is history. Just to hit the highlights, between the first and second years of med school, I did a summer research internship with Dr. Kleinerman's lab, working elbow to elbow with the same scientific team that had saved my life a decade before. That was cool. Between my MS2 and MS3 years, I got a position in the Howard Hughes Medical Institute NIH Research Scholars Program, working in the pediatric oncology branch of the NCI. That year solidified my desire to become a physician scientist. Somehow, I also found the time to fall in love with my wife, Laura, get married, and welcome our son, Connor Joseph, into the world. I thought for the longest time that I would be a pediatric oncologist like Dr. Woolman, and I even did a rotation with him. It was more than a little disappointing to realize that pediatrics, while wonderful, just wasn't for me. But then I did some orthopedic surgery rotations and knew I had found my home. One of Dr. Fu's guiding principles is to give people a chance. It took a lot of courage and faith on his part to admit a one-legged guy into the most physically demanding training exercise in all of medicine, the orthopedic surgery residency. But Dr. Fu took a chance on me, and I will be forever grateful. Dr. Mankin was so proud when I matched at Pitt Ortho. During residency, I performed a research year with the second Henry Mankin professor, Dr. Johnny Huard, during which I generated preliminary data that launched my scientific program on osteosarcoma metastatic biology. We also had our daughter, Annalisa Catherine. Shortly after that, I had my first oncology rotation with who else but Dr. Mark Goodman. I really knew I was home after that and decided to be an orthopedic oncologist. After residency, I did my fellowship at the University of Toronto, and Dr. Fu recruited me home once more as faculty. For my first years of practice, I was Dr. Goodman's junior partner. No matter what the future holds, those years I got to operate and work with my doctor will occupy a special, wonderful place in my heart. Scientifically, we've had some success, but much work remains. I've had support from the NCI as well as numerous foundations and the UPMC Hillman Cancer Institute. We founded Pittsburgh Cure Sarcoma, which is a volunteer-run philanthropic organization that raises funds for sarcoma research and supports sarcoma patients and their families. We started the Pittsburgh Sarcoma Research Collaborative, which is just what it sounds like. Our motto is building bridges between Pittsburgh's sarcoma experts. Rather than being in our own little silos doing our own isolated projects, the PSARC membership tries to integrate our science whenever possible to leverage our strengths and make Pittsburgh an internationally recognized powerhouse of sarcoma research. We were among the first recipients of the Pitt Chancellor C Grant, which helped us to expand the musculoskeletal oncology tumor registry and tissue bank. As the African proverb goes, If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, build a team. Let it not be lost on you that when you take your oaths and put on your coats in a few minutes, you will do it as part of a team. Besides sharing some of my story of going from patient to provider and research subject to research scientist, Dr. Shaker wanted me to share what inspires me to get up and do this crazy job every day, and how you new students can make an impact on medicine. Well, the first part's easy but may surprise you. I am a sarcoma survivor who is now a sarcoma surgeon and sarcoma scientist. Friends, I find very little inspiring about that. Consider this. I am alive because of the unwavering determination of doctors who refused to let me die and fought for me in the face of overwhelming odds. I am also alive because I participated in an experiment that was the brainchild of a brilliant physician scientist. It is logical. I'm supposed to be passionate about this stuff. In fact, if I, of all people, were not passionate about the research and treatment of sarcoma, exactly who should be? What gets me up in the morning and inspires me is the passion brought by my clinical and scientific partners, who haven't been touched by sarcoma like I have, yet bring the same passion, resolve, and relentless energy to the care of sarcoma patients and the study of these diseases. Trudy Zoe reminded me of that during the weeks she was in our lab. Trudy never had a chondrosarcoma, yet she attacks this research with the tenacity of somebody who did. That inspires me. How can you make an impact as you start your careers in medicine? Well, I think that's pretty straightforward also. To paraphrase Howard Thurman, don't ask what the world needs. Discover what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have found what makes them come alive. Or as St. Catherine of Siena said, become who you were meant to be and you will set the world on fire. It breaks my heart and frankly frustrates me when I ask medical students and residents what they want to do when they grow up, and I get a response like, well, we're going to need a lot of arthroplasty surgeons, or we're going to need a lot of cardiologists, or something like that. With all due respect to my colleagues who've trained at that hallowed institution, I call that a Harvard answer. That's an answer that might be absolutely true, but did not answer my question. So when you come on my rotation and I ask you that question, please give me a Pittsburgh answer. And that is, I want to know what gets you going. What lights your fire? What excites you? What pathology fascinates you? What sort of patient or problem would you cheerfully devote your life to serve every day for a few decades? And I challenge you to find those answers over these next years and hold us, your teachers, accountable to help you find them. If you accomplish that, you will be exactly what the world needs, and you will set it on fire with your passion. I think that's plenty long enough. Now, get ready to hear some of the greatest musicians of the world and take your oath to be forever what another Pittsburgh native, Mr. Rogers, called a helper. Help always. Harm never. Discover and embrace your passions. Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh medical family. God bless you all.
Please join me in another round of applause for that absolutely inspiring speech. Thank you, Dr. Weiss, for sharing just a little bit of your story, but more importantly, for reminding us why we should all be here, what we should strive for. I would like to invite Dr. Chenitz Pettigrew, our Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, to join me here at the podium for the reading of the names. I'd also like to invite our faculty coders, Drs. Ankur Doshi, Beth Pereno, Ann Thompson, and Kurt Weiss, to join us on the stage. As they are progressing up onto the stage, we are going to welcome Irene Chang and Michael DeBruin, Andrew Wicksberg, and Christina Yoder, who are members of the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, and who will be playing a selection from Mozart's Divertimento in D major. And now, I'd like to welcome our students to the stage to receive their white coats. Nana Hawa Abdul Rahman. Ashma Agarwal. Nishant Agarwal. Anirudh Ajit.
Ishwarya Aravu Dainambi. Warren Austin. Daniel Awad. Marinelle Azar.
Olivia Babbage. Courtney Baldwin. Jawad Belkir. Nicholas Burgum.
John Balanin. Michaela Bizignani. Brianna Blake. Adoma Boateng.
Georgianne Booth. Hannah Bumgarner. Lauren Burnett. Simon Chow.
Casey Cargill. Emily Carmona. Shannon Kaysen. Austin Cataneo.
Alexander Chang. Annika Chang. Audrey Chang. Eva Chow.
Jeffrey Chen. Lucille Chang. Sarah Clifford. Alexander Commercy.
Shannon Conway. Amanda Conwell. Kendall Curtis. Ria Dongay.
Corbin Darling. Rochelle De Blasio. Marissa Del Signor. Anket Darwal.
Julia Di Nicola. Jenna Dvorsky. Victor Ekeciadi. Sukaina El Jamari.
Chiname Aiba. Eva Fandozzi. Anella Fernandez. Meredith Flanagan.
Maya Fleshaidu. Stephen Flynn. Brianna Franklin. Stephen Frederico.
Noah Friedman. Tracy Freeman. Margaret Gaida. Joshua Garfin.
Luke Gianetta. Daniel Gomez Salmo. Basil Hashmi. Eli Hay.
Elizabeth Heidenreich. Jonathan Wang. Emily N. Kartik Iyer.
Eric Jacklich. Swetha Justy. Crandall Jones. Jonathan Joseph.
Young Jin. Maria Andrea Gerardo. Nezhat Kabir. Ronit Carr.
Alicia Kolesi. Nathan Kinjo. Stephen Kisti. Michael Knapp.
Shividya Kotapali. Isabella Lau. Michaela Lashok. David Lemberski.
Alice Lynn. Ryan Lynn. Bridget Anna Lloyd. Sarah Lopez.
Avanish Matavaram. John Majewski. Saina Martirazum. Ugana Mbeke.
Mithi Mehta. Tracy Miller. Arjun Mittal. Mariam Mogadam.
Kanako Mori. Pallavi Muluk. Liviana Michaelbust. Divya Natasan.
Peter Nelson. Caitlin O'Brien. Kathleen O'Connor. Helena Oft.
Jeffrey Okoro. Chiziazam Ominyi. Kaylee Ortega. Emma Osterhaus.
Tate Overby. Michelle Perry. Jeffrey Pettigrew. Natalie Pino Benitez.
Hannah Piston. Triton Plute. Monica Pulagandla. Kristen Punu.
Michael Pupi. Adriana Racky. Mohammed Rahman. Paul Rodriguez.
Miracle Rogers. Samantha Rosen. Purva Ramde. Kira Russell.
Joseph Scheidt. Robert Shear. Katerina Schneiderman. Romano Sebastiani.
Steven Shaw. Michael Shannon. Milani Sharma. Sydney Sharp.
Michaela Shields. Forrest Schuster. Mackenzie Sick. Lauren Simonian.
Caroline Smith. Sneha Srinivasan. Charlotte Stanfield. Lee Kai Sun.
George Tankosich. Zishan Tariq. Swetab Tarun. Tamika Thompson.
Ramsey Toe. Melody Trudgeon. Rabira Tusi. Ayadun Azamari.
Gregory Varga. Marissa Washington. Rachel Wager. Shushua Wei.
Cameron Williams. Taylor Williams. Andrew Wills. Stephen Worrell.
Dorothy Yam. Kenta Yamamoto. Tyler Yasaka. Jia Yu.
Armin Zarnigar. Trudy Zoe.
Yeah. Thank you to our platform party. Dr. Pereno has assured us she is okay. She is sitting here in the front row. She actually said this was so awesome, so it really was an amazing experience to partake in. Thank you again to the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra String Quartets. Now I invite Dr. Pettigrew back to the podium to share with you all about our new tradition here within the School of Medicine, the Oath of Professionalism.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gonzaga. Good morning, everybody. But before I go on, I have to amplify that wonderful story that Dr. Weiss told us. Every patient has a story, and I won't remember all the details, but I'll remember how much it moved me, Dr. Weiss. So thank you very much for that presentation. I am Chenetz Pettigrew. As many of you know, I'm the Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion here at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. And I'm here to give you a few remarks about the tradition of our class oath. Today is a transformative moment when the class of 2025 will make a public declaration to become exceptional physicians committed to the values of the profession of medicine. However, our oath writing process started about 2 weeks ago, where we asked them to reflect on stories like Dr. Weiss's story. We asked them to consider what they are about to embark on. We broke the class into groups. We named the groups after one of those 446 bridges in Pittsburgh. Those bridges are spanning and stretching across rivers, valleys, ravines. They are a symbol of where you are now and where you will be in a few moments. So as a symbol of the oath writing process, we feel that the bridge is part of your development into your professional identity as a physician. The students have met, brainstormed, selected representatives to carry their ideas into composition. They'll work a little while this week and formally on Friday present the oath of the incoming class of 2021. The class of 2025, they will present that to Dr. Shaker on Friday. During the week, they'll be, again, as I said, putting the finishing touches on what it is that they're doing. But I, as well as all of my colleagues, are very excited about this experience. We hope that they will carry out all of the expectations that we have of them becoming exceptional physicians. Once their oath is done, we will give them their oath on their badges so that they can have a reminder of the covenant that they will be making today. I'm looking forward to working with this class. I'm looking forward to their sharing their oaths as they transform themselves into exceptional physicians who will practice medicine with excellence, compassion, altruism, respect, curiosity, empathy, integrity, courage, truthfulness, fairness, and without bias. I know they're up to the challenge. They are going to write in one voice, with a common purpose, the class oath of the incoming class of 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pettigrew. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Dr. Freddie Fu, Distinguished Service Professor, the David Silver Professor and Chair of the Department of Orthopedic Surgery, and proud alum of the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine's class of 1977, who will lead you in the reading of the Hippocratic Oath via video, while Dr. Fu is in the audience with us presently.
Hello, this is Freddie Fu. I'm class of 77, and I've been resident here, the faculty since 82, and now I'm the chair of orthopedic. Pittsburgh is a great city, as you can see, and you're in a beautiful venue at the Carnegie Music Hall on this incredible occasion of the white coat ceremony. So let's now do the Hippocratic Oath all together. So you repeat together with me. I do solemnly swear by whatever each of us holds most secret, that I will be loyal to the profession
of
medicine
and
just and generous to its members, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor, that into whatsoever house I shall enter, it shall be the good for sick to the utmost of my power, holding myself far aloof from wrong, from corruption, from the tempting of others to vice, that I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients, and will give no drug, perform no operation for a criminal purpose, even if solicited, far less suggested. That whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of my patients, which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep inviolable secret. These things do what I swear. Let each of us bow the head in sign of acquiescence. And now, if I will be true to this, my oath, may good repute ever be mine. The opposite, if I shall prove myself forsworn. Congratulations. Welcome to Pittsburgh Medicine.
I invite the class to be seated for our final performance of the day, which will be performed by members of the Pittsburgh Opera. Yazid Gray, baritone, will be accompanied by Karen Jeng Lin on the piano. They will be performing Largo al Factotum from Il Barbide di Siviglia, or The Barber of Seville. Thank you, Mr. Gray and Ms. Lynn, for that incredibly fun piece of opera. All right, before we depart, I'd like to thank Dr. and Mrs. Fu again for this amazing ceremony. You can read more about their commitment to the university and to the city of Pittsburgh in your program. I'd like to take a moment for us all to thank the staff from the Office of Student Affairs and the Medical Alumni Association for their hard work in making today possible. And thank you to my colleagues who assisted in today's coding and to our advisory deans, some of whom are in attendance today. Immediately following the ceremony, we hope you'll join us in the foyer to mingle with your classmates. Each student is asked to take a goodie bag on your way out. It contains some special welcome gifts from the Medical Alumni Association. We will be also hosting a cookie table. This is a very Pittsburgh tradition. This year it's going to be a cookie to go box for you to enjoy once you're outside of the building. And now, without further ado, it is my great honor and privilege to present the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine, class of 2025. Please stand one more time. I think that the class will be dismissed first. Oh, Dr. Fu will lead us out, and we will see you in the foyer.